Good day, fish tankers. We're here at Exotic Aquarium and Pets. They've got some unusual fish here, both marine or seawater or saltwater and freshwater. We've got some Malawis here. There's a big variety of fish. If you want to see what they've got, stick around. Okay, so you see it's a big pet shop type, almost super store, almost the size of a Pet World. And there's this big display when you come into the store. And look at this black diamond stingray. Nice to see them in a big tank. You can see there's lots of dry goods. There's some reptile enclosures. And I'm going to try and walk around the display to get away from some of the glare. It's a freshwater display, but you can see they've got those artificial coral inserts that, like we saw on that show, tanked. And there's an arowana in there as well. And it's nice to see an arowana in a proper big tank. Rule of thumb, these fish need to be able to turn around without touching their tail on the other side of a tank. So the tank needs to be big from front to back. You can see there it turns very comfortably. And there's a little Malawi cichlid that's got his own little outpost there in that artificial coral. He's got his own perch. You can almost mistake him for a seawater fish. There you can see the arowana turning around, and the tank is wider from back to front and the arowana is long. Here's a marine tank. There's some macroalgae, there's some corals, there's a tang. Underneath that rocky outcrop I spy a jumping bean, a little dwarf angel. There you see him. And there in the anemone we see a clownfish hosting. I'm always fascinated by seeing the clownfish right up there in the anemone. That relationship, that symbiosis between the clownfish and the anemone. And there is the 6-line wrasse. They are apparently very good for eating all sorts of marine pests, like bristleworms for instance. They apparently eat those pests. Some corals. Are there any reef keepers watching this? Let me know in the comment section. And here we have a shrimp and betta rack. Everybody in Joburg seems to be a bit low on stock, but there's a nice betta. And what I like is the way they keep them here with constant water flow and filtration moving through. Just at a trickle, not too much, so it blows a betta around. I don't like seeing them in cups. And there's a lot of, I think they are ghost shrimp. Overgrown with lots of plants and a bit of algae. That's how shrimp like it. There, I think that's a cherry shrimp over there. And here you can see is the fish corner. They've got a substantial amount of fish. Got some marines as well. There's some sort of cream colored tang. Not sure what kind it is. I just know you've got to feed these guys some vegetable matter, and nowadays you've got these flat packed nori. That's a sailfin tang. I know what that is at least. I've kept a marine tank once. There were some cleaner shrimps and fire red shrimps in it, and that was about that. These days they've got designer clownfish. Look at that snow white one, and there at the back you see a regal tank, the dark blue one with a red tail, and there's another clownfish. Seawater fish seem to be especially camera shy. And there, that long fish is a wrasse. And the family of wrasses, they sometimes like digging in the sand and burying themselves. And what's also interesting is their color and their patterns change quite radically as they grow up from juveniles to adults. Very much the same as marine angelfish like your emperor angels. And there's a little dwarf angel, a jumping bean. I've kept them before, and that's the price for that little jumping bean. Almost 650 rand. So you need deep pockets if you're going to keep seawater fish. And here's living rock. That sort of serves a function like plants do in freshwater aquaria. It's basically rock that's encrusted with algae and beneficial bacteria and all kinds of marine life. Your usual suspects. Now we're into a freshwater, those with some live bearers, and now we've got the tiger barbs. There's a golden tiger barb and some normal form. And you can see there's few of them left here, and they're actually a little bit scrappy. Thing with tiger barbs, keep lots of them together. And they're not really a community fish because you know they can be nippy, so keep them with other semi-aggressive short-finned fish. And here we have the guppies. Interesting, the 3D backgrounds, and you'll see there's a water inlet there, so I suspect they have a filtration behind that 3D backgrounds. I've seen something, pineapple swords. I've seen something on a Danish guy there on YouTube, and they have basically a small water pump behind the background that pumps the water over, and it just pulls it through a sponge and a lot of biomedia. Very cheap, effective form of filtration. Some angelfish. See the ordinary color, we see the golden angels, a koi, there's a marble angel up top there, and the molly in between them. Black skirt tetras and white skirt tetras, we used to call them black widows and white widows, and now these days on the right hand side of that partition you see the GMO version of that fish. I prefer the natural ones, quite frankly, on the ones on the left. They're long-lived fish and they're very hardy. Serpay tetras. Who of you have serpay tetras? Let me know in the comment section. Are they nippy, are they fin nippers, or are they fine? I'd be interested to know your experience. Some kerry blue tetras. Not sure if it's a different species or a subspecies, but related to the emperor tetra, but not quite the same. And there's the emperor tetra. Put them in a heavily planted tank and they'll even breed for you. Some black neons and some red-eye tetras. In a big school, they can look spectacular in a planted aquarium. They're understated fish, but if you put them in a big group, you'll see what I mean. And there's some white cloud mountain minnows in there as well. Here's the white clouds. That guy must have jumped over. Great beginner fish. Can even go in unheated aquaria. And these are the white tip tetras, or the silver tip. And they school very tightly and they bold, they follow your hand, but they have a reputation for being nippy, so usually best by themselves. Let me know what your experience are with the silver tip tetras. Some more koi angels. And here's some Colombian redfin tetras, along with flame tetras. You've seen the big ones in my tank, that's what they look in the dealer's tank. Also, they become quite bigger and they really color up nicely. More Colombian redfins. And here we have head and tail light tetras. They used to be quite common in hobby. You don't see them so often anymore. You can see why. They're often also called the beacon tetra because they've got that glowing upper eye and then that glow light that golden light on the base of a tail. Also very nice little tetras at a very nice price as well. And here we have Malawi cichlids. Some different size mbunas, rock dwellers. Those look like juvenile Venestus to me, I might be wrong. I look at the pattern, that patchy pattern. And these I believe are some Lombardi or Lombardoi cichlids. These I know from my pet shop days, or ratus. The males they lose that stripy coloration and they become a very nice dark blue, but they are scrappy to the max. They are aggressive little cichlids and they become quite a bit bigger than this, but not huge, but they are aggressive. So you need to have a lot of side breaks, lots of rockery, and be careful what you put with them. These guys don't like the camera, and here we have some peacocks. They're not rock dwellers like the mbuna, they're more open water swimmers. And you can see them checking each other out through the glass. Here's another peacock. That's a little camera shy. I think it's called a red zebra, but I'm not sure. Here's some very nice ones. You got the albino, and then you got that golden one. How do you feel about hybrids? Because those are hybrids, I believe. Are you one of the purists, or don't you mind? Do you just like a nice looking fish? Quite a bit of African rift lake cichlids here in Joburg as compared to Cape Town. They seem more popular here. And here we have a comet. And interesting, you've got the usual orange goldfish color comet on your right, and then you've got these yellow comets. Quite a striking color. These sort of single-tail goldfish are more suited outdoor in the ponds, or if you have a really big aquarium, that can also work. Very hardy fish, very simple hardy fish. There's some plants here. Not a huge amount of stock, but there's some nice Amazon swords if you take the time to have them fully grown, submerged. Then they become really nice plants. And here you see is a massive tank with lots of small koi in it, or medium-sized koi in it, but still far from adult size. And I like the fact that they've got some aeration going there because it's hot here in Joburg, and these fish like cooler water and they like a lot of oxygen. And there you can see this is a aquarium section. They've got everything else as well, some starter kits, all your usual dry goods, all the familiar brands are here. Got a lot of plastic plants if you don't want to go to the trouble with the real plants, and with all the aquarium lights, course, they're also plagued by load shedding, and there's those AC/DC battery backup air pumps. And of course, canister filters, the Cascade, and the sort of staple here in South Africa, the Dolphin canister filter. Food, ocean nutrition, frozen food that we all like to use. And here we're back to the stingrays, and this is actually not a purebred black diamond, it's a hybrid that they've got as a small pup. That's what you call a baby stingray. So you can see it's not quite as jet black as a pure black diamond stingray, but still very nice stingrays. Gonna try and get a shot of that arowana. The glare is just too much, you gotta excuse me for that. So we'll go back to the stingrays. Guys, if you watch this far, please give the channel a like, a thumbs up, and please subscribe. And until I see you again, take good care of those domestic denizens of the deep.